Hello and welcome back to computer programming. So this time there's no sample code to actually show you. I just kind of want to talk through the lab and the activities so that you understand what's expected. All right, so this involves kind of bringing the Tic Tac Toe game that you just finished to the next level. And you're going to add the ability to play against a computer opponent. Now, it's your call. You can either add this functionality to the existing program that you just finished, or you could make like a copy of the program that you just did, like just go in and copy the entire folder, um, and then make a separate program that's only for playing against computer. So it's your call. You can either have the human opponent and the computer opponent in the same program, or you can make a copy of your human one and then modify it so that instead of two people, it's a player and a computer. Now, what you do need to do is once you have that kind of set up, is the computer is going to have two different difficulties. All right, it's going to have an easy mode and a hard mode. In the easy mode, the computer just randomly selects boxes. All right, it has no strategy whatsoever. You just generate random numbers and have the computer fill in those boxes. All right. Now, there's a little sort of review here in the lab document of random numbers. So you're welcome to kind of look at that to sort of see how they work. All right, so again, you need that include time.h at the start of your file. You need to seed the random number generator, and then this code would give you a random number from 1 to 9. All right, so that's easy mode. It's just the computer's randomly picking boxes, filling in those boxes. So this would basically take the place of the other human player. All right, the second, more advanced difficulty is when the computer is a little more intelligent. Now, I leave it up to you to sort of determine how intelligent you want it to be. All right. But you're going to try to code some rules into the program. So, for example, you might have a rule that says, hey, if the center spot is open, take that. You should definitely have a rule that says if someone has two marks in the same row or column, you want to block that player, right? You also want to have a rule that says if the computer has two rows or two marks in a column, it should try to finish the column. Now, how are you going to do that? That's where those sums come in. All right. So, for example, let's say you gave the number 3 to one of the players. If a row has a sum of 6, or a column has a sum of 6, or a diagonal has a sum of 6, you know they're really close to winning, so you have to block that row or block that column. All right, so those same sums that we used in the previous lab to figure out who won and who lost, we can use them to sort of figure out where we need to make our next move. So kind of the way the program will work is it'll identify certain sums that tell us to make a move. And then you have to go back and look at the 2D array to figure out where the empty spot is to actually make the move. Now, what I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to show you my version. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like this, but this is one possibility. So mine has everything incorporated into one. Again, you don't have to do this. You can keep the computer and the human version separate if you want. But mine asks at the start if you want to play against a computer. So I'm going to say yes. Then it asks what difficulty I want, easy or normal. So if I pick easy, all right, I get to go first. And then the computer just randomly picks a square. So this time it randomly picked 8. Then I'm going to take square 1. All right, the computer randomly picks 6. So I'm going to take square 9 and I win. All right, so that's easy mode. Do I want to play again? Sure. Do I want to play against the computer? Sure. This time I'm going to play on normal mode. And let's say I choose spot 5. Right? The computer goes and takes spot 1. Now, if I take spot 4, the computer recognizes I'm about to win and blocks me by placing in spot 6. All right. Now, let's say I try to go for spot 8. The computer blocks me and takes spot 2. Let's say I try to take spot 3. the computer blocks me and takes spot 7, and then all that's left is 9, and the game ends in a draw. Now, it's up to you, how intense you want the intelligence to be. It is certainly possible to design it in such a way that every game will end in a draw. That's up to you. I did make it so that there's basically one strategy that will allow you to win. So it's like your job as the human to actually figure out what one strategy will win. But it's also possible to make a game that is just always going to end in a tie. But if I take 1, my computer takes 5, I can take 9. And then from there, I can get the victory. So it's up to you whether you want to set up the intelligence in such a way that there is a way to win, or whether you want to try to make it airtight enough that it always is going to end in a draw. But that's effectively what you're doing in this lab, is you're adding a computer opponent to the Tic Tac Toe game that you already set up. And it has one of 2 difficulties. Easy difficulty is just you're generating random numbers, and that replaces player 2. So that one's relatively easy. The only thing you have to do is, if one of the random numbers is a spot that's already taken, you have to keep generating numbers until it's an open spot. And then the second piece is actually coding in the intelligence. And that's where it gets a little trickier, because you have to look for, potential chances to win, potential chances to lose. And then when neither of those are in place, what do you want the computer to do? Do you want it to pick randomly, or do you want it to focus on a certain spot? All right. But that's what this lab involves. So best of luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and then we'll go from there. All right. Bye.